giving them the business.
Oh, the man is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's got it. Goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. It's going to down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone. It's a touchdown. And the Gators have won the game.
50 to the 40. Herman Whitfield to the 30 to the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown FSU.
Yep. We're back. We're back again. You thought we wouldn't make it a week, but we made it. We made it one more again. College football extravaganza. Me, Riggedy Robert Vincent. Follow me right there, R Vincent Comedy. Give this channel a like and follow and subscribe. We moved to the College Football Extravaganza channel on YouTube and Twitter and stuff exclusively. We're still streaming on the Swampcast Network, still streaming on the Higher Frequency Pod Network, but we're not promoting those anymore, so go follow the new stuff. We need to make that one our main one. Por favor, please. And Justin, you're the co-host on this. Davey Dave is on his way back from a work event in the middle of nowhere, so it's me and Jay Patrick on air. Give him a follow too. How was your weekend of college football watching?
I feel like I ain't done a show in 2 weeks, man. It's been forever since I feel like I've been on the mic. But I actually got to watch some ball this week. I went to a buddy's to watch LSU Alabama. Great game. Talk about that later. I actually got to watch a lot of the breakdown of the noon games with Davis actually throughout the week. We were at an event and we were just glued to the TVs, watching Florida blow it in overtime, watching Ole Miss A&M have a close game, watching Florida State struggle with Pitt at first. It was, and then watch Georgia, Missouri for a little bit too. So I think it was a good week of football. It was really, I enjoyed the slate. I think this is probably the most I was able to watch football this entire season so far, because my Saturdays are usually just so busy, but I had a day off and I was able to I went to sidelines, then I went to a party, and then I went to a watch party. So I had football on all day long, so I was able to actually have a nice day off and enjoy some college football.
Nice. Yeah, I actually was tabling the Florida Cannabis Festival for Decrim Nature. It's another organization that I help run, and we were handing out some information and trying to get some donations and money for Decrim Nature. We're trying to decriminalize plant medicines and entheogens, if you know what that's all about. But this is a college football show, so we'll keep it at that. But I was watching the games on my phone. I was watching the Florida Arkansas game a little bit on my phone, just trying to keep up. But every time I'd stop watching, Florida would score. So I eventually just stopped watching and hoped that would help us win. But it didn't. It did not at all.
Yeah, Florida had their chance, man. They blew it. They did. They blew it. It sucks, man, because Arkansas is not a game that you should really be dropping. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, I've talked about Florida all year, man. That's how their game's going to be. Just, you're not really confident right now. There's flashes.
The way the line moved, it moved to Arkansas +3. I felt like everything was moving. It was the perfect storm for Arkansas to get this win. They had their running back come back. I think his name's Rocket Sanders, something like that. Yeah, he came back and he had an amazingly athletic play there in overtime. He got tackled in the backfield, but kept his balance and almost took it into the end zone. And Florida had a missed field goal. Florida had some opportunities. They fought back. I mean, honestly, Florida kicks that field goal and wins. You're talking about a great offensive game by Graham Mertz, some excellent catches by Trey Wilson and Ricky Pearsall. But overall, special team coaching mistakes again caused the Gators that victory. And a penalty here and penalty there on special teams killed them. And this field goal on special teams killed the Gators. So, like you said, Justin, can't afford that loss going into a schedule that has Missouri, LSU, and Florida State at the end of the schedule. That's one thing. I mean, Florida's looking at not being bowl eligible at this point.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird feeling right now. They're going to fight for it, and I don't know. It's just not a lot of confidence coming out of Gainesville this year. I mean, Billy Napier, he had a flash there for a little bit. I mean, right now we have a win over the number 13 team in the country, which that's cool and all, but it comes down to consistency, and the offense I think does great. I think Graham Mertz is one of the best in the country when it comes to just being a consistent good quarterback. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback overall, but when it just comes to having consistent play, I think if you have a guy with consistent play, it's easy to build around for the simple fact of like, okay, we know what he's going to do. He's going to go out there and do his thing. How can we build around it? What do we need to do more of? What do we need to do less of? And what needs to step up to make this game able to be in our hands to win? Graham Mertz goes out there and does the same thing every week. He's not like Anthony Richardson where he might go put up 150 or go put up 350 and 4 touchdowns. You know, he's very cut dry. All right, I'm going to give you that 250, maybe a couple touchdowns. I might throw a pick as well. Having a guy like that, it's easy to work around more than an Anthony Richardson from last year, in my opinion. Because, yeah, you can get those great games out of Richardson, and that's good and all, but you don't know when it's going to come and how often it's going to come. And that I always hate that because I think quarterback is something that you want to be your most set in stone piece, to be the exact same product week in, week out, to try and make the game be as best it can for your team.
Yeah, and you know what? Like I said, Mertz was serviceable. He threw for 282 there. I think it was just there in the end, man. Florida did come back and try to put it away, and then the defense just gave up. Quarterback draw up the middle of the middle. It's the consistently subpar linebacker play. They're not filling gaps. They're getting pushed all over the line. They're missing tackles. So the defense there at the end, they held KJ Jefferson running the ball all game, except for the last drive and in overtime when they got completely bowled over. So you know what? It sucks. They lost this one, and they got to pick up a win somewhere. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, this is literally the hardest part of the schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, you have an LSU team. So the good thing is that don't sleep on Florida this weekend. It's a night game in Baton Rouge, which is in LSU's favor, of course. When is it not? But LSU is notorious to have a hangover from the Bama game. And right now, we don't know what's happening with Jaden Daniels. There's no Jaden Daniels giving the Gators this week, right? That's
right.
That's
big. That's huge. And facing Nussmeier, the Gator fans, if they let Doug Nussmeier's kid throw all over them, they're going to be very upset. Yeah. Just letting you know. Letting you know, Billy.
It's notorious that the LSU they always have a hangover from the Bama game, whether that be because they just get the shit kicked out of them because they played a great game, or because they just went through a really grueling matchup with a bunch of guys who are going to be at the pro level for the next 10 years. You know, so that's what they go through every year, and then Florida gets lucky to have them the week after. But I don't know. It's going to be weird. If there's no Jaden Daniels, I'm taking the Gators in a heartbeat, and I can't say that enough. I mean, because he really does make the team what it is, in my opinion. And their defense is horrible. I mean, it's literally not even in the top 100, right? Like they were fighting for a playoff spot or an SEC championship spot last week, and that's fine. Like, you know, they had the chance to do that, but in the end, your true colors always showed, and that is they couldn't have a defense. You know, they didn't spy on Jalen Milroe at all. I mean, they did for the first drive. They put Harold Perkins behind the line, and then they would get beat over the top. They would get beat right over the top of the linebackers just for shallow get, like, you know, just really short gains. And so they decided to take Perkins off the spy. And then when Jaden Daniels did what he did, and that's just run. Or excuse me, no, Jalen Milroe did what he did, and that's just run. And he just ran all over them for however many 260, 4 touchdowns, whatever the hell he just did. But he blew them up.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. If Jaden Daniels doesn't play, then Florida probably the best chance the rest of the season to win this game compared to like Missouri or Florida State. But since we're mentioning the LSU-Alabama game, let's just go ahead and talk about that. Like you were mentioning, Daniels was running all over him until he got hurt, passing the ball all over him. Milroe, absolutely insane running. I mean, this guy's a loose cannon right now. LSU could not stop Alabama. They don't have a defense, like you were mentioning. But your boy bet the over, so he was very happy in this game. The overs were killing it for me late Saturday night.
Same.
Yeah, that was very nice. I was on the verge of losing a little bit of money, and then I live bet Arizona for the win. I think it was like -10 or something. So that helped me get in the green there.
when in doubt, wildcat it out, brother.
Yeah, we had a live bet it. But yeah, tell me any more thoughts on Alabama LSU here, because it was a good game to watch. I mean, we're talking into the fourth quarter, it was good, and then Jaden Daniels gets hurt and gets out of the game. So would it have been different?
It was awesome. I mean, first of all, Malik Neighbors, he's proving to be one of the best in the country. And there was a lot of hype going the neighbors going into this year, and I was like, okay, it's just LSU hyping up their number one receiver again, whether it be Keyshawn Butte, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. What they do it every, year in year out, right? But recently it's been like, no, like Butte, we fell apart, right? We didn't do much. They're hyping up neighbors this year, and this kid leads the country in receiving, I believe, when it comes in. But 10 catches, 171 at a tutty. Especially in that great sideline catch he had. He just gravitated his foot from out of bounds, inbounds. I mean, that was one of the best catches I've seen in a while. Scouts love that play right there. It's a really good play. So really shout out to them. I think their offense is great. It's one of the best. But for BK not to have a defense, again, it's pretty annoying. You look at Jalen Milroe, though. Passing wasn't like great, but he just ran all over him, 155, four touchdowns on 20 carries. And then you had Chase McClellan. He had a touchdown as well. I mean, and then also Rodell Williams, that kid's underrated right now. I mean, I'm going to make this very clear. Like, J-Max, cool, really good. You have Jalen Milroe, who's going to be really good. But Rodell Williams, man, that kid, he does so good with the ball, man. He, like, when they put him in there, it was like a different pace that he had coming off the ball, and it was just a different speed. Once LSU adjusted to J-Mac, they put in Williams, and they couldn't handle him, and then Milroe would just find a way to do things. And I mean, they just got beat. I mean, Harold Perkins, I mean, you take away a quarterback spy against a guy like Milroe, you leave it wide open underneath. They just sent their guys on top, and Milroe just ran for 15, 20 yards every damn play. And, yeah, I mean, you can't beat that. That's just how it went. And for this game, I wasn't surprised. I never bet against Saban and Bama. It was in Bryant Denny. I just don't bet against Bama ever. Personally, I thought Jermaine Burton would have been the difference maker in this game. He was actually non-existent. Not that he really was needed. Isaiah Bond had a great game, 5 catches, 60 yards, but really Bama didn't need to pass the ball. They really thought about it. And so they ran all over them, and it got you the product that it did. Now, moving on to the point where it's been like the most controversial, which if something weird like this happens, it's all that's talked about in the game, and that is the hit that Dallas Turner had on Jaden Daniels.
I think, I don't know. I mean, if anyone's going to criticize it, I mean, maybe he held on too long, but you got to wrap up. I think it's mostly a clean tackle, from what I see. I don't know. The watch party I was with my buddy who was at my buddy's house, was a Bama fan. Shout out Casey, and then Trevor. He's a huge LSU fan. Both of them. I mean, they're kind of like they have differing opinions on it. It's going to depend on who you're rooting for. Yeah.
I mean, of course, they're a little salty because they lost their great core. I mean, really, for being real, like Jaden Daniels, he is one of the best in the country when he is healthy. I mean, him and Penix go hand in hand for being great competitors and great athletes at the quarterback spot. And I think they're the 2 best in the country right now, in my opinion. But when you lose a guy like that, of course, they're going to be a little salty. But that Dallas Turner hit, man, you're asking a lot from a guy who's 21, 22 to slow. He's going to be a top 10 pick. He plays a high speed. He's very fast. He's very strong, of course. I mean, we loved Will Anderson, right? I love this Dallas Turner kid more. I know that might be a stretch, but I love Dallas Turner more, which is how
those are big shoes to fill for sure.
But he's done well with it too. He's done incredible. I mean, he'll be another top 10 pick from the defensive side of the ball for Alabama, and that's what I love about it. He's been great to watch. But for that to happen, I hate to see it because people are going to try and, negate him and just try and make him look like a bad guy. I think he's going to be a great football player. He's going to play in the league for a long time. He's going to do really well. He comes out of Alabama. You can't beat Alabama ball. Never can. But when it comes to that play, you're asking for a lot from a guy. He didn't leave the crowd of the helmet, in my opinion. Yes, did their helmets get connected in there in the end? Yes, but at the end of the day, it's like, whatever. He fell on top of him. Oh, my God. Like, I just think people are just throwing a little bit too much of a fucking pity party about it, in my opinion.
Right. It did cause a concussion, though, for a Heisman candidate.
It did. But, that happens. That's football. That's football, man. It's not like he went out there as a headhunter. And, I mean, this play night and being reviewed should speak volume. I think you could have taken a look at it and then might have made people feel a little better. But if it wasn't reviewed, I mean, they usually are pretty strict on these type of plays. If it needs to be reviewed, they usually will. Mm-hmm. So But I think Josh Pate, he gave a great take on it. He's like, I know Dallas Turner, I know Saban. And he's like, those are not guys who purposely could try out and go do that type of thing. And I heard some takes like, well, imagine this: you're down 14, and the only way that they can like get back in it and do it is Jaden Daniels. Why not just take that out of the game and just forever and just like put this thing away? I was like, that's not how Saban plays. He's never done this, man. Like, we've seen this guy coach for decades now, and that's not his type of ball.
Yeah. I agree. And you know what? I've seen things called for less. I've seen, targeting and roughing the passer called for less, but I'm more inclined to agree with you. I don't think it was a dirty hit. Nothing with malice there. I mean, you got to stop them somehow. You know how that somehow is? You got to sack them. You got to get some pressure on them. You got to tackle them. And you can't do that just, pussyfooting around, honestly. So, yeah, good take there. Alabama, though, they're looking better than ever. Head-to-head with Georgia right now.
I don't better than Georgia.
Yeah, I think so too.
I've said this since the Tennessee second half, and that is, I don't know if I was able to make that take on this show on the pod or not, and I might have missed the week after that game. But ever since that second half versus Tennessee, they came out slow, which they usually do come out slow in the first half. But that second half versus Tennessee, it looked and it felt and they acted like the stereotypical Alabama, I guess I could say, which is they play with aggression, they play with grit, but they treat their second downs like their third downs, and their third downs like their fourth downs. They play with that type of tenacity that makes them so good. So if Saban can instill that in this team, it's going to be, pretty hard come Atlanta for Georgia or whoever comes out the East, which I think Georgia, I don't know, does Georgia have it locked up yet or not?
Yeah, I mean, mostly as long as they win out. Obviously, I think
it's Missouri. Missouri's the only one that can compete with them, right? But I mean, they have the tiebreaker of Missouri, right?
Well, if Missouri beat Tennessee and then Georgia lost to Tennessee, and I want to say they have another SEC school, and then they have.
Oh wait, Missouri's 3-2, Tennessee's 3-2, Georgia is 6-0. Yeah, no, they have two more SEC games. So even if they do, essentially what would have to happen is that Georgia would have to, if Georgia wins this week, they lock up the SEC East.
Yes.
But let's say they lose this week and they lose to Tennessee would get the spot.
Right.
Which is not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, Missouri and Tennessee play together, so one of them has to win there.
That's the thing. I'm saying like Tennessee would have to win this week, like as well. Right. They have to win out to keep that 2-loss. Which Missouri would then have 3 losses, so they're gone. But, Georgia would have to lose this week, and Tennessee would have to beat them, and then Tennessee could get the spot. So, really, it comes down this week, but even if Ole Miss does pull this out their ass, I don't see Tennessee doing that.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to agree with you on that one. But, that's for a little bit later in the show when we get into Week 11. But speaking of Georgia, they did play Missouri this week and tied at halftime. I mean, Missouri comes out, holds Georgia to a field goal on their first drive. They come out, score a touchdown. Georgia scores a touchdown after that, making it 10-7. And then Missouri ties it up after a stop, making it 10-10. But then after that, they open up with a field goal, and Georgia played the game they wanted to play. They controlled the clock, ran the football, and in the last 2 possessions of the game, Missouri quarterback Connor Cook throws a despicable interception to a big fat D lineman, and he almost takes it for a touchdoung.
Did you say Connor Cook?
Did I say Connor Cook? I know his last name.
Not Michigan State quarterback from 2013. Whoa. Brady Cook, yeah.
Brady Cook, sorry. Connor Cook came out of nowhere.
That's an old name right there.
Dude, as much college football as we watch and as much names as you have to as many names as you have to remember, it's hard to get them all right. But yeah, Brady Cook throws a despicable interception there to a big fat Georgia lineman, and then the next drive, although there's only like 1:30 left, he throws another interception. And Missouri fought hard, but they could not win that game. Georgia doing good without Brock Bowers. Lad McConkey had some fancy moves, some big receptions. He looks real good.
Oh my God, man! Like once Brock's gone, fuck, I got another guy to deal with in the country, man. It's crazy what they're doing over there with the tight ends and the receiving spots over in Georgia. They're doing great. Love to see that happening over there. But this was one of
I
my
hate
locks.
it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, this was one of my locks last week, man. And yeah, Mizzou covered. I thought they were. I thought they were going to play them tough. I mean, respect Mizzou. They do good. I think they do good. Definitely one of the probably the best team that they've put together in the SEC since their first year in the SEC. Whenever they were like top 10. So
I think you deserve some credit for your locks last week. So I'll pull up your locks for last week right here. Speaking of locks, that was a good lock. The Missouri plus 15.5. I just didn't trust it. I thought Georgia might come
it's
out.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's understandable because like you really don't know what you're getting out of Georgia anymore. It could be something that's going to be spectacular and blow something out the water. Like we thought the same thing with Kentucky. Like, oh yeah, we both took Kentucky plus 14, and then Georgia just went and did what they used to do, and that's blow teams out the water.
Just dicked them down, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but I feel like Missouri has a lot more respect, and Georgia they come out slow sometimes. So I gave them the respect that they have, making this a 2 versus 12 matchup. I think this is a 9-point loss to them is. Very, you can commend them for that for sure. But then I move on to my other locks. Really, I mean, if we're being serious, my locks are always just SEC and Big 12, Pac-12 at this point. But Washington -3, man, this is getting funnier.
I did want to get into this game too, so yeah.
Let's get into it. Yeah, I had them at -3. Incredible performance. It's probably like one of the easiest games to put up numbers. If this puts anything into perspective for you, I have to pull my exact stats up for this one. But when it comes to USC and their team, they've allowed, I think it's 265 points over 6 games this year. And Iowa has allowed, I believe it's like 230 something. but Iowa's only allowed that in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, but just the Iowa to USC comparison out of nowhere is killing me right now.
Have you seen because first of all they fired Alex Grinch, which
right.
who wouldn't want to? I mean, not that it's going to change anything. I mean, it's still going to be
the same defense.
It's going to be linked around. It doesn't matter who's at the helm of the defense. But when it comes to that stat I saw, I was like, man, 265 points like throughout 6 games, like that's pretty crazy. And then you look at Iowa, who's not a great team, but from what they've done, it's like, I mean, come on, they play defense at least, but they don't win games.
Yeah, you know what? You might be onto something. How about Iowa and USC just do?
This is what I was going to bring up. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like these two should play each other because they would feel better. Iowa's offense would feel great, and then
and then USC's defense
would feel awesome. Which I have another stat when it comes to Iowa in a game that we'll talk about later on. It's not our game of the week, but it's like our secondary game of the week. I'll bring up some stats on that game later on. But for Washington, I mean, this is an easy game for Penix. Congratulations to him. He's sitting really, really comfortable right now, and you can't ask for anything but more out of him than what he's been doing.
Yeah, and I do want to. I was watching this game, so I had to choose a game to watch, and I bet the over on this game and the Alabama LSU game. Both overs hit. It was a wonderful feeling, amazing, wonderful. Everyone should bet the over on Pac-12, Washington, USC. If it's USC, just bet the overs. And Caleb Williams was making dudes look silly, and so was Washington. This play in particular, I've never seen a flea flicker like this. This was one of the coolest flea flickers that I think I've ever seen in my life. And I'm sorry if it's very small on the screen. I wish I could make it bigger. We should have pulled it up somewhere else. But this was a crazy flea flicker. Watch this.
2nd and 5. They hand it off to Branch, the receiver.
So he went across. He went jet motion.
Yeah.
And well, it might have been sweep. Anyway, cross motion, and then comes back, tosses the ball back to Caleb Williams. Washington obviously did not see this coming.
Motion it, flips it back to Williams. Wide open downfield is Taj Washington, who just.
It was like that the whole game. That's what watching the Washington USC game was like the entire game up until the end of it.
I wish I could have watched this game a little more because it was one of my picks. I didn't do a pick on the Alabama LSU game because I don't like betting against either of those teams because I just think that's a game where you just kind of just leave it untouched. That's what you should do. And when it came to this game, the stats go crazy. I mean, Penix, 22 for 30, 256, 2 touchdowns and an interception. He even had a rushing touchdown, which is a rare commodity for him, in my opinion. Williams, though, not a bad game, 27 for 35, 312, and 3 touchdowns, along with 1 on the ground with 16 yards there.
Dylan Johnson rushed for 256 yards there. I mean, and he hadn't done that. He hadn't done that all year.
And 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he hadn't done that all year.
And
so he got right, but everyone gets right there. It is what it is.
The thing to be worried about the most is Jalen Polk, having that kid back. He's good for Washington. He's good. I mean, and then Roman Zone, dude's just freaking good, man. He's just so good. 82 yards, 55 catches, but he's been one of the best in the country. I mean, and Washington hasn't had their best receivers, but lo and behold, whenever it's going to come to it in the Pac-12 championship and then possibly most likely playoffs for Washington, they're going to have him. And I mean, I've called Washington a dark horse all year, and they've backed up my words week in, week out, and I will forever keep riding them until they probably face Ohio State, and I probably will not. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely going to get into that here in our transition when we discuss the playoff rankings, because I want to get your take on it. I got Davis's take, and we've had others on the show, so I definitely want to know what you have to say about that. But
I don't think I've gotten to do a show where we've done playoff rankings yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on a hiatus. I can't have to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I have a couple good takes on those.
Awesome. So I guess we'll get into my locks here next. I don't know if we're even done with your locks, actually. Did we finish? That's okay. We'll go back. Because we can bring this up too. Bedlam. I think the over was a great pick. It didn't hit, although I was on the fence. I was gonna pick Oklahoma State to win the game, and that one would have won, but I went with the over instead. And it bit me in the butt. I could have taken the lead over Davis, or I could have at least tied him. But you know what? That's okay. Oklahoma State wins again. Ollie Gordon rushes for 130 some odd yards. And to me, he is the best player in the country right now. I'm rocking with 0 every day of the week. And Oklahoma State, dark horse Big 12 champion contender right there. I think they're going to go. They better beat UCF this week. Sorry, Pat. If they do the classic Oklahoma State letdown, I'm going to severely be let down. Illinois, Minnesota under did not hit. That's okay. I'll take that every day of the week. I thought it was. The Iowa under looked like it was too low of points. I think it was like 31. It might have even been like 28 at one point. I think that one still hit. I should have just went with Iowa under. I don't know why. Pac-12 overs and Iowa unders. That's what that consistently. If you wanted to make money, I think that's what you should do. The LSU Bama one, I did switch that out after last show. I think at the end of the show, I locked in that one, so that was good. Houston wins. They beat Baylor, and Kansas is a wagon. They've won the last 3 weeks, and I had them, but you know what? It was too close. It was too close for comfort. Iowa State almost won. If you go watch Kansas's cinematic review of this, like all these teams this year are doing cinematic reviews, and I've been watching every one that pops up, and they're all amazing. Like even Florida will do one for like the Arkansas game and somehow put a positive spin on it, which is dumb, stupid. But yeah, Kansas did one. It was great, and they ended up winning. So. There we go. Now I'll let Justin get back to his locks as well. Dude.
I think, Oregon, I think this was a great pick by me. I was happy to see it came out in my favor for sure because I didn't. This was like the one I was sitting on the fence on. Like
they started off slow. Like it was slow, and then the onslaught happened. Cal made a lot of mistakes, a lot of turnovers. I watched this game a little bit as well.
Yeah, and then the Ole Miss A&M. This was a push, and it started out really strong. I thought I got it, but it started off really strong for Ole Miss. I thought they were handling it very, very well. But then
it was weird.
A&M put up 14 in the fourth quarter, and it was a good game, like a really good game to watch. Ole Miss doing what they need to do and lead up for a great matchup this week. And then K-State, Texas over. I mean, this is just. I mean, I feel like the saying is this year you take Pac-12, but the saying forever has always been Big 12 over.
Yes.
Especially, I mean, this was crushed by like 12 or 13 points. This over was crushed. So, yeah, like it was Yeah, take it.
Yeah, the Ole Miss game. I mean, Ole Miss was throwing all over Texas A&M. They looked real sharp, and then Texas A&M kind of lulled them to sleep there in the second half and came back. And yeah, some people, minus a pass interference call, Texas A&M might have should have won that game, but it happened how it happened. Ole Miss gets away with the win, and now we're talking number 9 Ole Miss and number 3-2 or 1 Georgia this week. But also Kansas State, they were trailing 17-0 and then came back and won that game. So Justin, I think all-time high. I think 4-1 or 4-0-1. I think that's going to be your best week, unless you went 5-0 one week.
I did. I went 5-0 like week 2, I think. So
we're killing. I mean, I think we're killing it. Davis.
I needed a week like this, though. I was down bad, but yeah, I needed.
Yeah, you were down. You came back a little bit. Davis had the Ohio State minus 18.5, and he got out of there by the hair of his chinny chin chin. It was 19 points. They didn't look too good over Rutgers. They had a defensive touchdown there to kind of not put the game away, but put it out of reach for the most part. The Kansas State, same as you. Notre Dame, dead wrong about that. Clemson, absolutely surprised me. I mean, I know some people were saying Clemson was going to win, but I thought Notre Dame had what it took, and they did. Sam Hartman did not look good in this game.
I think we should do a no over week, like a no over under week, and only spread week, because I feel like Davis is getting a lot of these easy games with these overs, in my opinion. I mean,
yeah, like you're talking about the Michigan Purdue over, right? Yeah, that one's dirty. That was very dirty by him, and it's borderline cheating. I'm almost inclined to agree with you, but I think you're trying to weasel your way back in.
I mean, you can say that. I mean, I'll find my way. Don't worry about me. I'll find my way.
I think you're trying to weasel your way back in, and I like it, but I'm not gonna take away the overs. I think to change the game in week 11, it's a little too late.
Not week 11, but like we should just do a specialty spread week where we only do spreads. Only do spreads.
Maybe like the bowl extravaganza. That'd be a good time to do it.
That'd be cool. We could do that. We could definitely do that.
That sounds fun to me. Any other? Let's see. Oregon. We went over that one. Florida State, FSU, man. Absent Johnny Wilson and absent Keon Coleman. Still getting the job done. Although it was scary. I mean, I had my FSU friends in my group chat. They were worried there for a second. And
the most boring box score ever, dude. It's
I went back and watched the condensed game on this one, and defensive for the most part, but FSU's got some concern in their secondary. Their Pitt was letting it fly, and they just could not capitalize on a lot of it. They had a couple turnovers there where they shouldn't have. Florida State, same.
It's what quarterback have they faced this year? Except for Jaden Daniels, who had a very off. Like I get that. I say that I'm like, oh yeah, well he faced someone that you just said was like the second best quarterback in the country. But other than that, they haven't faced any quarterbacks except maybe Riley Leonard for half a game. And I mean, Jaden Daniels, even when they did play 346 through the air, I think sooner rather than later, you put a good quarterback against that secondary, and it will get picked apart.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Florida State still perplexing me. Like they score 14 in the third, and Pitt had many opportunities to score touchdowns and get some points, and just couldn't do it. I think you say this is a struggle. This is a struggle spot, but also you're missing 2 of your best playmakers on the perimeter. So I'm not putting much stock into this loss. Florida State has Miami upcoming this week, North Alabama, and then Florida. So Florida State's shot to the playoffs is real clear. Well, I mean, I think it's clear as it's the most clear out of any team.
We need Tyler Van Dyke to Van Dyke his way in there, but
or Miami's backup quarterback. He killed it in the Texas A&M game.
Do you not know who that is?
Switch. For his name's escaping me right now.
Do you not know where he's from?
Don't make me. I'll kick you out of this fucking podcast right now, Justin.
He's from here.
His fucking name.
He's from here. Emory Williams, man. He went to Milton. He was literally playing at Milton High School last year. He's from here.
Congratulations. You fucking know who Miami's backup quarterback is. You want a fucking trophy?
I mean, I'm just surprised because like he's like our biggest star that's playing in college ball right now in this area, or one of them, I guess. But
I mean, I'll give you that. Good point there. I'm sorry I don't keep up with the Milton fucking Panthers, Justin. Good God.
kind of have to when you cover high school football for 5 years.
Yeah, you know who doesn't cover high school football for 5 years? This guy right here, me, college football, and he doesn't get he hasn't had to start over Van Dyke, and
well, he's a freshman. He's a true freshman.
I mean, he doesn't. I mean, there's true freshmen that start. There's true freshmen that start all the time. If he's playing better, he's playing better. We're talking Trevor Lawrence. He got the start over Kelly Bryant back in the day over Clemson, over there with Dabo, and that's Dabo. That's loyalty.
I would love nothing more than the Emory, like Tyler Van Dyke to go down and the Emory Williams just go fucking ball out. Because it'd be hilarious to see a kid from here, because this is a Florida State heavy city, right? This is a Florida State heavy city.
Oh, yeah.
It would be hilarious to see a kid from this town just go blow them out the water. Especially a kid from this town that played for probably one of the worst high schools in the past decade.
I mean, I would love to see that too.
It'd be hilarious.
Now, do they get actually? I'm getting ahead of myself there. Florida State Miami is an interesting game to me. I might actually be at that game. We'll see. But we'll move on. Florida State gets the win at Pitt.
You've got more Florida State games than you have Florida games this year.
I haven't been to any games this year.
Explain yourself.
I haven't been to any games this year. I did stop by because we had Dave's Freshly Used on last week when you weren't on. And I stopped by his booth as he was setting up at like 7 a.m. and picked up one of his hats and some shorts. It was good stuff. Glad I didn't go to that game though. I would have been pissed. But I mean, I was between going to the LSU Florida game, which the tickets are cheaper, but on the Game Time app they're doing sales tax for LSU Florida. On Ticketmaster, they're not, which is weird. So the whole Game Time thing, I found a ticket that was cheaper. I found tickets that were cheaper, same row, but it was cheaper because of the sales tax not being there. So suck it, Game Time. Y'all suck.
How much is it?
I mean, I saw some tickets at in Death Valley for like $68.
Damn,
Cheapest.
If I wasn't working, I'd go to that game in a heartbeat, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's only a 3.5 hour drive from here. It's not bad. And
I take trips to the Saints games all the time.
Yeah, but there's some tickets at the Florida State game that are kind of similar to the same price. But I think I don't know, man. If Jaden Daniels plays, I don't think it's even close in the Florida game. But we'll get to that.
Hell no, not even.
Yeah, no, we'll get to that. We covered Oregon, Texas, Alabama, and Oklahoma State. And that one, Penn State blows out Maryland. I didn't trust this game, but Penn State looked good as you can look against a Maryland team that struggled. I'm not knowing much about this game other than Penn State got past that lull before this big Michigan game. Louisville, I thought this was going to be a close game with Virginia Tech. Wasn't. They blew out Virginia Tech, and now Louisville's looking like the lock for the other ACC team to face Florida State in the championship, and they're looking good. Anything to say about Louisville here, Justin?
Louisville's an interesting team. It's not a team that's sleep. I mean, once again, I'm just annoyed with Florida State's scheduling. Like they didn't have to do Notre Dame, UNC, or Louisville.
And it's weird. They didn't play NC State this year. They usually always play NC State because that was on their side. And now that they have this new ACC setup, don't play NC State, a team that's known to give them troubles. My Florida State fans say that.
Florida State got a literal cakewalk handed to them this year, and I mean they needed it. But Louisville's good. You got them to Thursday or tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Louisville's they're good. Virginia's gonna be an easy game. 20 points is still a lot to take though. But 8-1, 5-1 in the ACC, it's fine. I hope it gets better.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Oregon State takes care of business against Utah. Shooter Sanders and Shiloh Sanders announcing through Dion that they're gonna declare for the NFL draft. So, what's Colorado gonna look like next year, right?
Well, I mean, you can't be surprised by that. We all knew that was coming. I mean,
Mhm.
you're not going to skip out playing for your dad. That's a very limited thing in life, and if how much football has engulfed them in their life, I mean, why wouldn't they take it as far as they possibly could? So yeah, that's not surprising at all. But it all comes down to what they do in this offseason, really. We all knew that. Like we knew, Colorado's been violently humbled recently, but I mean, they're doing better than what they were last year, the year before, and the year before that. It's just because it's Dion and Shiloh and Shador, they're being held to a standard as they are like a USC because they have all the cameras on them. But I think it all comes down to what they do in the offseason, who they go get, what they have coming. And I think they're going to do a lot better. I think they'll definitely get a lot more wins. But yeah, for that team, I'm not surprised. It's going to be good. Now, I think DJ Uangale, he played great versus them, and that was a good game. So
Yeah. Tennessee, absolutely ass blast UConn.
that was annoying to watch, man.
Yeah.
People are just like blowing it up. I'm like, it's fucking UConn.
It's UConn,
like,
yeah.
Everyone's doing that.
Oh. Yeah. Arizona State also gets ass blasted by Utah. Now I didn't see this coming. I didn't see it coming this bad. I saw Utah winning, but not 55-3. I thought after Arizona State kept it close last week that they'd be fine. And Utah apparently did not like getting blown out in Rice Eccles by Oregon. So they said, hold on, wait a minute. We're gonna have our pig quarterback, pig wrestling quarterback, pig farming quarterback, throw the ball, run the ball, and just absolutely destroy the Sun Devils, which made me change a lot. I had Arizona State plus 18.5 this week, and I changed it. I was like, I don't trust them now. Now, who I do trust, Arizona, the Wildcats, man. They absolutely killed it for me. I live bet them to win some money. Beat UCLA 27-10. Noah Fafita throws for 300 yards.
Yeah,
this game was exciting too. Late night game, fun to watch.
No, Fafita, he's so fun to watch, and they make a late night ball just even that much better. I feel like Arizona's always playing the late night game, but that's what's so fun about them, I guess you could say. But yeah, no, it sucks that they dropped a couple games earlier because you get this complete wild card in the Pac-12. But yeah, no, they've been fun.
Yeah, and we already mentioned Kansas beating Iowa State in our lock talk. Tulane barely gets past Eastern Carolina. And Army beats Air Force. Oh, such an upset for the Commanders Cup.
Blowout, bro.
I didn't watch this.
A blowout.
Yeah.
I was shocked, man. I felt bad because I'm like, damn, Air Force, you were like there. You were doing so good. And then Army had to Army, and, like, there's just a different meaning to those games for those guys, and that's like little brother to them, and they made sure to hold it on. They don't say, I don't care what you are to the college football playoff rankings and what you are to the country, but you're still a little brother to us, and we're going to make sure you know that after today. And yeah, they did what they do. Yeah,
that's why I didn't trust it. I never trust the overs in military academy, and that's why I didn't rank them in my top 25, because I was like, they gotta drop one. It's Air Force. I did not expect it to be against Army. I thought Air Force was going to win the Commanders Cup. They did not. But that'll do it for the top 25 for last week, and we're gonna kick it to week 11, and we're gonna give you our locks. We're gonna talk about all these games that are coming up and give you our game of the week, give you everything we got this week, guys. Here we go. It's time for week 11 picks and locks. I couldn't keep a serious face. Oh man. Louisville hosts Virginia on a Thursday night.
I thought you had a graphic.
I do, but I could have done this. Wait, you ready? Week 11 picks and locks.
I don't know. You seem like you had something prepared for that. I was like, okay, we got music coming or something, and Rob just staring at me. I'm like, okay.
No, I was just hyping it up. Yeah, Louisville hosts Virginia on a Thursday night at Louisville. Louisville's got to close this out, man. They're right there on the edge. If they close this one out, I believe they clinch it. Barring a loss. Yeah, no. If they win this one, they're going to clinch it. So their favorite -20 though. That's a lot of points. I think I'm going to stay away from it.
Yep, I'm staying away from it. It's they'll win this game for sure by 2 touchdowns, but outside of that, Louisville's got this game.
Yeah, and then Virginia kind of, in the last few weeks they've come out of nowhere and kept some games close, but they're not going to do it this week. I think Louisville's got this win easy. Maybe not by 20 though. Maybe not by 20. I could see a world where it happens. Skipping those games straight to Saturday. We're going to start off big. Michigan, Penn State. Michigan going to Happy Valley to face the Nittany Lions. I feel good about Michigan. I feel good about the 4.5. I don't know. I just can't get over that Penn State loss at Ohio State and how they looked and how silly their offense looked when they faced a good defense. And this is Michigan's first real test. So we'll see how they do. I think they get the win. It's going to be my first lock of the day right here.
Michigan's your first lock?
First lock, yep.
Gotcha. This game is – you got sounds or no? No sounds?
Yeah, I got sounds. You didn't hear that one?
No, I didn't hear it.
Interesting.
That was a quiet lock. I was like,
Did you hear the wait. Did you hear that?
I got nothing.
If you're in the chat, let me know if you're hearing these sounds or not. But yeah, they should be hearing them because if I can hear. Wait a minute. Let me test something out real quick. Hang on. I know what it is. 10-4. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and give your picks there.
Michigan, Penn State. This game's been circling the calendar for me for a long time, especially since Ohio State, that game. I think the most annoying thing is when you click on this game, it's first take clips trying to talk about this game, which I'm just like, yeah, those are the guys we should have representing college football. The two guys that scream, Russo and Stephen A. Yeah, let those guys talk college football, those buffoons. But Michigan looks great. I think they're going through a lot of shit right now. I think they're going to have it coming. And now that they have some heat on them, I think that Penn State plays pretty close. I do have to bring this up, though. Penn State, they are one of the better teams in the country for sure. But Penn State ranks 121st in passing yards per completion. That's a stat that is pretty big. And here's why. To put it in perspective, Iowa sits at 113. So
this was the Iowa stat that you're gonna bring up.
Yeah, this is Iowa sits up. What happened to your mic? Your mic's like fell apart on me. I don't know what's going on in here.
What are we talking about?
You're falling apart on me, Rob.
I just changed it because you couldn't hear the sounds. Can you hear the sounds now?
I got the sounds. Bring up your mic a little bit though. Your mic's
Goodness gracious. Okay.
This is why we test things. Allard, 20 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season. I think that's going to be a huge factor is how well he protects the ball. Him and JJ McCarthy are they're like just so similar when it comes to their stat lines that they look exactly the same. I think it's where it comes down to is the rushing game of Blake Corum and Allen for Penn State. What they can do is going to be a big determination. I think this is going to be the first time that we see Michigan face a real defense and what they can do. That 4.5 for Michigan, I would take in a heartbeat. But the thing that I am most annoyed about this game is that it is not a whiteout game. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So they scheduled the whiteout game for Iowa early this year, which I don't understand. I get it. The whiteout is something that's like protected by them and they love it. And it's something that's very important to them. But your whiteout is the biggest, largest crowd that your fans and organization can produce. Like you produce 110,000 in one stadium. That's what the whiteout is, right? That is not something that's supposed to be used as an entertaining factor for the fans. That's something that you're supposed to use as an advantage in these games. So you should have made it for your biggest game of the year, which is for Michigan, as it usually is. It's either Michigan or Ohio State. They always flip-flop the year. That is when your whiteout game should always be because it's your biggest game. So you should give yourself the biggest advantage you have. You should not be scared to try and lose this game because that's what they're worried about. They're trying to protect the whiteout. They're trying to protect, we should have our whiteout game during Iowa because we're definitely going to beat Iowa. Fuck that. Michigan's where your season's going to be on the line. So, you don't have the whiteout game. It's going to be a day game, which Penn State during the day, pretty bad football in my opinion. It's not very good. Happy Valley is very sad when you watch football during that time of day. Whiteout games are some of the best, and we see Michigan have their worst games in Happy Valley whenever they go to the whiteout game. And yeah, man, it's just I think Penn State dropped the ball really, really big on this one because they took away. They literally just said we're not going to use our biggest weapon when it matters most. So
Yeah, I agree with you. It's an intimidation factor kind of thing.
I mean, because you will literally get kids. It'll be like they can be sophomores or seniors. It'll be their first time playing in the whiteout, and it leaves you stunned. It leaves you kind of phased, like holy crap, because the whiteout at Penn State is the largest crowd that you can ever play as a football player. I want to make that very clear. Like I don't think people understand that. The whiteout at Penn State is the largest crowd that you'll ever play for. You'll never play for one as big as that in the NFL because their stadiums only go to 60,000 and they don't carry even an ounce of the energy that a whiteout carries in Happy Valley. Okay, it's like Happy Valley is always one of the biggest crowds ever, and so you will leave kids very phased, and it gives you an advantage early on, and you can usually get yourself out front to where you take advantage and you win the game. So I think Penn State drops the ball big time on this one. They did it last year too. I think they scheduled Minnesota for the whiteout game. I mean, it's piss poor scheduling. I hate it. I don't care. TV doesn't control this. First of all, this all comes down to your scheduling. Like, because you said, okay, whiteout game is going to be week 5 against Iowa. Screw that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just
they're ignorant.
There you go. That's what it is. Could you hear that one?
I can hear it. I got it.
And you can hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, we're back. I set it to the same setting it was when you couldn't hear me. So
Yeah.
that was the fix. That's how it goes. Yeah. Are you gonna lock this one up or no? You're gonna keep
No, I'm not touching this game. It can go either way, in my opinion. I think Penn State can come out and ball out, or Michigan can just do what they've been doing. I think we're gonna get a lot of answers to a lot of questions from this game alone, whether that be Big Ten playoff picture or just Michigan in general for how good they are when they are stealing signs, how good they are when that wasn't being looked at, and what they're going to look like now from the going forward with the heat that they have in this investigation, and also what may lead for the end of Harbaugh's time at Penn State or Michigan, excuse me.
Yep. So I'm going to do it again because I didn't get the sound for the full effect. I'm locking in Michigan -4.5. We're locked in, baby. And that's going to bring us to the topic. You mentioned it, Connor Stallions and this whole Michigan debacle situation, whatever you want to call it, that's going on. This week, Michigan says, hey, you're doing it too, and sent the Big 12 and other people a little bit of evidence that other people were stealing their signs as well. So
Stealing whose signs?
Stealing Michigan signs. Yeah, you didn't hear about this?
No. I just think that's dumb because I don't think they're stealing their signs. I mean, let's be real here. Like Michigan's just trying to point finger, get the heat off them, and I don't think they're going to do a good job at it.
So you're saying Michigan is fabricating evidence that other schools are stealing their signs?
I think that it could be true, but it could be true. But for the simple fact of the matter is, Michigan's trying to take heat off them. They're trying to take the eyes off them. They're trying to make this look not just about them. But the thing is, they are the center of attention when it comes to this. And nothing makes it look worse on them than that they have dominated and gone undefeated in the Big Ten for the past 2 seasons, now 2.5 seasons. And they don't drop Big Ten games because they bought Connor Stallions all these Big Ten tickets. He was seeing all these Big Ten games, right? And then when they go to the playoffs where they face SEC and Big 12 teams that they don't scout throughout the year, they drop those games. That nothing makes their situation look worse than that, because it makes something that's very clear. Like, okay, so supposedly you were buying tickets to conference games and you were winning those games, right? But why would you buy tickets to a random Big 12 team and SEC games? Because you don't know if you're even going to face them. You know you're going to face these teams coming up. You know you're going to face Nebraska. You're going to face Ohio State. You know that's on your schedule. You don't know if TCU or Georgia is going to be facing you come playoffs. So why would you send someone there, right? That nothing makes their situation look worse than that.
I mean, to me, we know they did it right. Like he
It's
bought the
yeah.
tickets. He bought the tickets to all the games. And what really made it suspicious was the South Carolina doing really good at the end of last season and beating Tennessee and Clemson, both playoff teams. South Carolina allegedly getting some of those signals from Michigan, um, you know, just to change the playoff picture. But to me, a lot of these people claiming they want the death penalty for Michigan in the football program, or claiming they want some sort of crazy punishment like that. That's just too much. I don't like the death penalty at all, and
No,
I don't.
I think
NCAA
it's dumb.
Yeah, I don't want the NCAA coming in being the arbiter of punishments here at all.
Trust me, the last thing you should do is encourage the NCAA to do the worst because they usually do it just on their own. If they feel fit, they're going to do whatever the fuck they can or want to make sure that you feel punished. So they don't need encouragement. Their minds already made up for if this goes the way that seems to go. Like they know what they're going to do. Michigan's they're going to extend Harbaugh, but they're not going to get out of this scot free. That's for sure. I am. Some have mentioned taking a penalty out and then not being playoff eligible. I'm like, this investigation will go long past that to where it's going to be hard to enforce punishment and consequences that affect this season. You can do it for next year, but I don't see. I see Michigan going to stay with what they've been doing, and they're going to try and make the best of this year. And then let's say they do beat Ohio State. I don't think they will because they're not stealing signs no more. But let's say they do, they're going to go drop first round of playoffs. That's pretty usual. But
Yeah, per usual. I mean, if they do, if they had to stop stealing signs, do you think they were stealing signs up to this year, or was it just the last 2 years?
that really depends. I mean,
We gotta
I
figure
mean, apparently he's bought tickets to over 30 Big Ten games. So if you do the math there, definitely some of that could
It's gotta
leak
be
into
this year, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gotta be this year.
I
Yeah,
mean, he wasn't buying tickets to the COVID years. I mean, if you look at that, because if he was buying tickets to the COVID years, why was Michigan was one kick away against Rutgers? If Rutgers makes a field goal versus them during the COVID season, Jim Harbaugh is not at Michigan anymore. I just want to make that really clear because they would have lost to Rutgers during COVID. They would have moved on to like 2 and some. I forget what record it would have been, but Harbaugh would not be at Michigan anymore. And so after that, he hit panic mode. Like, holy crap, I just had the worst season of my career, pro, college, don't matter what. I just had the worst season of my career. We need to do something about this. We need to go get an edge against our opponents. And what happened? They went back-to-back Big Tens. They started buying tickets to games. And now they're still undefeated, and they're still doing the same thing. But this picture will come clear this week in the Ohio State game. I don't think it'll come as clear this week because – Penn State's not the caliber team of Ohio State to where it's like they just randomly started beating, not just beating Ohio State, but defeating them with great numbers. So I think it's going to come into a very large scale picture. Like the NCAA should look at this and say, okay, look at the comparison here. They've done so well versus this team recently when they were supposedly stealing signs. They get the heat, they fired the guy who was doing the dirty work, and then they can't beat Ohio State again. It's not because Ohio State got Kyle McCord. Ohio State just lost. It's probably its best quarterback in the playoff era. I want to make that very clear. CJ Stroud's the best quarterback.
he's going to be the rookie. He's going to be the rookie of the year. He just broke all-time passing rookie numbers.
If we look at their past ones, it's Dwayne Haskins, JT Barrett, Justin Fields. Justin Fields was close, but he's not going to be – I don't think he's going to be as good as CJ Stroud will be in their career. They'll both have careers in the NFL. JT Barrett's been a backup for many teams or third string for many teams. Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace. He's gone now. And Braxton Miller's a wide receiver, and then Cardale Jones was in the CFL and XFL. So, this is the best court. They all of a sudden, Jim Harbaugh, he got the first 2 and only wins against Ohio State in his career versus the best quarterback that Ohio State's ever had. Does that make sense, right? No, not even a little bit. And people are trying to say Ohio State can't do anything, like they're going to get beat by Michigan this year. I was like, Ohio State has been doing what they've been doing the past few years, but now they have a fucking defense, and you wait when it comes to the game, they're going to do what they do.
Are you saying there is a conspiracy? All right, sorry. I think that's enough. I think that's enough time spent. We spent about.
I can go a long time on that subject, but just know this week, some of it will come into picture because they're more Connor Stallions, and also they're not stealing signs versus Penn State anymore. And then in the Ohio State game, people are going to be like, well, they already stole Ohio State signs. I was like, you really think Ryan Day is going to use the same signs after there's been a so-called sign stealing scandal that he's been watching his team signs?
Oh no, Ryan Day's in the midst of this too. Ryan Day is for sure, him and his brother, who is cyber security guy, are definitely in the midst of this. And when they lock eyes, when Harbaugh and Ryan Day lock eyes across the field, it's gonna be one of the best Ohio State Michigan games.
No, I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think it's gonna be a blowout. I think Ohio State will blow them clear out the water.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because Michigan will literally not have an edge. They will not have an edge. You think Ryan Day is going to keep the same signs that they've been using when Michigan was so-called watching? Not even a little bit. He's going to change those signs, and it's going to be a completely different team. Michigan won't know what to do, and it's going to be the exact same thing that we saw 7 years ago for 7 years straight. Ohio State's just going to be back on top. And yeah, I think it's going to become a very clear picture. I don't think now if Michigan does win that game, then maybe I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore. But I don't see that happening.
I see it happening. I could see it happening. I could see Ohio State winning too. But like
they haven't faced anybody. That's all I'm saying. They haven't faced anybody to where it's proven that
this
they
week
need.
we'll get some answers this week.
We could, yes.
Yeah. Moving on. We're going to talk about Alabama and Kentucky. They're going to Kroger Field there in Lexington. The Roll Tide is, and they're minus 11 right here on ESPN. Justin and I found them at 10.5 earlier, so we're gonna roll with the 10.5. And I don't know what this line is doing. I don't know what people think is going on with Alabama.
I would take the minus 11 still. I'll take minus 20.
Yeah. It's an easy lock for me. This is a lock for me. Justin, I think you also have it as a lock, right?
I do.
Yeah.
Well,
so we're gonna both double lock that thing up. Yeah. Bama is gonna win this week. Throw this in one of your parlays if you want. I don't care.
Hey man, sports betting is legal in Florida again. How we feel?
Yeah. The
Hard Rock bet. It's up, man. It is up, bro. I'm so amped. I'm so amped to lose so much money.
Maybe we get 500 followers here and we can get some sponsors. Maybe that'll be one of our sponsors, Florida-based podcast. See what they think about that. That'd be cool. But we would be supporting the Seminoles. I don't know the
one. You're the one that goes to their fucking game, so that's for you to do talking, buddy.
I went to their games because my granddad was a season ticket holder since the 70s. And they tried so hard to make me an FSU fan, but it didn't pan out.
Tried so hard.
It did.
Got so far.
It is
in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. It didn't matter. But I mean, there was games where I was in the stands just secretly rooting against FSU when they were playing like a Miami or like an NC State. I would always wear my Florida stuff to the Florida game. So I don't think you can hate on me. It was the closest college to go to. Gainesville's 5 hours away. That's not a drive there and back you want to make.
I don't know, man. I'd rather take the 30 more minutes to LSU than drive 3 hours to Cali.
I mean, I've never been to a game in Death Valley. I'd love to go to Death Valley. But here, I guess we'll move on. Well, let's move on from the Alabama LSU game here. I think that's all I had to say about it. I think Kentucky's not going to be able to handle Jalen Milroe whatsoever. He's going to run all over him.
We didn't really talk about that game. We just said, yeah, we're locked.
Yeah, I mean.
Anyways, moving on.
Who cares?
That's all you need to know. I mean, what else do you need to know?
But you can only play a particular sound one time, and it's during that Alabama-Kentucky game. So you need to play it now.
Kentucky, no. Y'all are going to lose so bad. It's going to be an ass whooping. And, towards the end of the season, it's not good. However, Kentucky, Louisville might be something.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Speaking of wagons here, Kansas is hosting the Texas Tech Red Raiders. And
this is a weird line. I don't know. It's a weird line. I like it a lot, but it's like, why is it this low? It makes me like, I'm like, I don't know, man. It's at home. It's minus 3.5. Like, essentially what they're saying is that if this game was in Lubbock, it would be favored by a point to Texas Tech. Like, So I don't get it. Like, why is this game only 3.5 points?
Texas Tech's weird, man. They're weird. They did almost beat Oregon there in week 2. That's week 2, though. I mean, I don't know. Texas Tech is a weird team. That's why I almost wanted to stay away from it, but I couldn't help myself because my buddies are all on the Kansas wagon, and I think you got to ride the wagons until you can't anymore.
Ride the wagon.
Yeah, you got to ride the wagon until you can't anymore. And we're not talking Boomer Sooner.
Boomer Sooner, the
We're talking to the
wagon.
team that beat the Boomer Sooners, Kansas. And I don't know, man. I think I got him as a lock. I kind of hang on. Let me peek. I'm peeking to. I gotta peek a little bit. Yeah, so I'm gonna lock it up. Kansas minus looks like -3.5. We'll take that. And I'm gonna pray that they have their shit together and win this game because it's I do have weird feelings about it, but I made it my.
Join you. I will join you and lock this game in.
All right. Was that on your locks, or am I gonna have to change that?
We're going to change that one.
You're gonna change it. You are the most changing lock motherfucker. Which one are you gonna change?
I think I know which one. I kind of was thinking about it earlier. I think it was.
You can think about it if you don't.
I know which one. I know which one. It's
Texas. You want to change Texas?
not really. That's an easy. I think that's an easy lock.
Ole Miss. You want to change Ole Miss because
I think that's an easy lock too. But
they're playing Georgia.
okay, I'll change Ole Miss.
That is the game of the week. Like, don't get me wrong, but like,
well, fuck, you spoiled it, man. Why are you even doing this anymore?
No, I don't.
We might as well end the fucking podcast now. Golly.
Oh, we could. We've been on for now. I mean, but it's going to be spoiled anyway because you're changing the locks. I'm gonna blame it on you for having to change the locks.
What, me? Never mind. It would never be me.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's 40. He's a real man. I'm a real boy. I like this game. I feel weird. Like I feel like they're already upset, and if they lose, like I'll go down with you, I guess. So you can't get an advantage on me. But
yeah, I feel weird about it too. Yeah, that's good strategy by you there. Trying to get back in the race. I mean, you're nipping our heels right there.
I could technically get back this week. Y'all would have to do horrible. I'd have to do great. But I could definitely get back this week.
You could get back.
Weird. You know what's weird? Okay, no, never mind. That would get really off topic. Let's just move on. But yeah.
All right, moving on, and we'll keep it short here. I got this game right here. I wanted to bet it. Might end up looking at it later, but 1 p.m. game.
Oh shit! I was gonna bring this up. What the fuck? That's kind of wild that you did that. I was like, no, we'll talk about it later, and then here it is.
We'll talk about it now. That's fine. I like Arizona to win this game. I don't know about the 10.5. I do like it though. I think Arizona could put up a bunch of points. I like the over. I like the over.
Man. Screw the 1 p.m. kick and Folsom.
Yeah. I want it to be at 11 o'clock. I want to watch Arizona while I fall asleep.
I don't know, man. Arizona's not used to they're not used to playing during the daytime. They might get confused and drop the game, bro. And they won't have to do
weird
it.
logic, but I love it. I love it.
Think about it. They don't really lose during the day, during the night.
Yeah. Wildcats are nocturnal. They are nocturnal. Buffaloes.
Okay, but the thing is, what is a wildcat?
It's a cat in the wild. They're bigger than your normal domesticated household cat. They roam maybe desert plains,
Mm-hmm.
Now Buffalo, they're on the open grassy plains. So them meeting in Colorado, that's the home of the buffalo.
I've never regretted asking a question more in my life.
Right?
Yep.
Usually wildcats you might get them confused with a bobcat if they have the stubby tail. Now these wildcats they're better than the normal wildcats. They're the western side wildcats, and then you got Kentucky wildcats. These are the Arizona wildcats. And they've been winning games that they should be winning.
But so what's the difference between the western and eastern wildcats?
The eastern ones have have no chance of ever winning a conference championship. And these might win a conference championship one day.
But what conference will they play for?
The ACC.
That sounds
They're going to be Western Wildcats in.
The Atlantic Coast.
They're going to be the Western Wildcats in the East,
The Atlantic Coast Conference,
which is on the East Coast.
Correct.
Kind of now. College football is weird now. I don't like it. I'm not liking where this is going.
Logic.
Yeah, here we go. Do you like the -10 though? Do you like the -10 in this game? I really.
No, I would take Colorado in a heartbeat. On
What
this
did you have to say here? Yeah,
I mean, because like, look at this. Like, all right, pull up Colorado's points schedule. Just click their name. Yep, there you go. You see, they beat TCU by 3, beat Nebraska by 12, CSU by 8. Ignore that game. USC by 7, ASU by 3, Stanford by 3, UCLA by 12, and then they lost Oregon State by 13. So only two games this year were they lost by more than one score.
yeah. I think it's gonna be similar to the UCLA game, common opponent right there.
But I Colorado plays tough, man.
They do, especially at home. That's why I'm staying away from them.
Look at their losses at home. USC by 7, Stanford by 3, and then Oregon State by 7. They haven't lost at home by more than 10 points. So, I mean, if I was struggling to find locks, I might reach for this one, but so that's why I won't. But I would definitely use this as like a lock. Absolutely.
Would you pick Colorado to win overall?
No.
Okay. I was just thinking about making it a shot.
Can they though? Yes, they can. I think they can for sure.
Mhm.
But it's right now it's a little weird in the Pac-12. It's been weird all year, but I think they keep it. They play close ball. They played everyone close except Oregon and UCLA, but that wasn't that fulsome. So I think that needs to be taken into perspective.
All right, moving on.
Moving on.
FSU, Miami. FSU hosting Miami, 3:30 p.m., 2:30 our time, at Doak Campbell Stadium. It's gonna get dark. FSU is 14. Ooh, man.
Personally, I wouldn't touch this at all. It's the most perfect line for this game that I wouldn't touch it because I think that line is so spot on that I cannot fucking decide which way it'll go.
Yeah. I don't trust Miami. I know Miami fans don't trust Miami, and I know some people are calling for the upset, but you don't know how to take a knee. You lose to Georgia Tech. You barely beat Virginia in overtime. You beat
Georgia
Clemson.
Tech's weird, man.
Georgia Tech's super weird. Miami's weird. Miami is weird.
Well, Georgia Tech just like they're. Have you looked at the standings in the AC? Oh, we're right there. Have you looked at that? Like, do you see who's third?
Yeah, I mean, Georgia Tech.
Do you see who's second?
Yeah,
Do you see who's fourth?
What are you getting to here?
This shit is unorthodox.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the normal ACC year. I mean, you got Clemson hanging below Miami down there because they lost to Miami, obviously. And
let's put this into perspective. Clemson will not finish above 500 in the ACC this year.
No, never. It's impossible. So
it's literally impossible because they can only get 2 more wins in the ACC.
That's not how anyone thought this year was going to go for Clemson. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't see a world where I do see how Miami could upset them. It's a rivalry game. It's going to be at night in Tallahassee during the second half of the game. If I went with my gut, I'd say Florida State's going to win, though.
Man, I don't know. I can just let Florida State keep winning and just let Florida put them out.
I mean, I'd like to see Florida State win because
sound good? Cool.
Yeah. That sounds good. If Florida is able to beat them at the end of the year and then be number 4 or better, that makes us look good. So yeah. But yeah, I see this game maybe going over the 50.5 if I wanted to bet on it.
Miami is 1-1 versus teams in the AP poll though.
That's no good.
That's they're 500. So right now they're sitting right in the middle. Which the one win they do have is a 15-point win over A&M.
Yeah, and they look good in that game. They looked physical, so they're gonna have to play the best game they've played all season. That's have to get the job done against FSU, and FSU kind of gets the test here. So we're gonna find out a little bit about FSU too, if they can come out fast. FSU comes out fast. They come out fast. The issue is in the second half, letting teams score points and get back in the game, like the Boston College game. So that's what they're gonna have to worry about.
I remember.
Yeah.
So Saturday, my buddy's an FSU fan, and he knows. So I root for Ohio State. He knows that, and he we're in a chat just talking ball, like we're getting ready to meet up at a bar or something, and he goes, Justin's just scared because he knows FSU is going to beat Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl, and I was like, all right, so you just ripped off this Band-Aid. We weren't even talking football. We were just talking about meeting up, and he just wanted to try and take this jab at me and Ohio State. And I was like, oh, this is your funeral, I guess, man. But so I proceeded to roast him, and I made a meme. You ever seen that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward's afraid of Santa Claus or something like that? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I found a graphic where it where I edited the captions on it, and I was just like kind of dogging them. I was like, "Oh yeah, they have to play a real top 10 team." Like, oh yeah, here it is. I said, FSU fans saying, "Oh, we're gonna beat OSU in the playoffs," and Patrick saying back, "Just like you beat all those ranked teams." And then SpongeBob comes in and says, "No, Patrick, they don't know how to do that." He says, "We beat injured Duke and 3-loss LSU." And then Patrick goes, "Ooh, such great wins. Now imagine playing top 10 teams." And then SpongeBob goes, "Stop it, Patrick. You're scaring them," because they don't know how to play top 10 teams.
I would say we're gonna find out, but we're not gonna find out until they get there, right?
Correct.
We'll find out at the ACC championship game, but even then, it's like
Louisville
game. Louisville team.
I don't think we will. You think Louisville's gonna be ranked top 10?
At that point, I don't know, because they could lose to Kentucky. They could lose. They could drop another game and still be in the championship. So they might.
Oh yeah, they're going to make that, I think.
But then I don't think they're a true top 10 team. I don't think Louisville's a true top 10 team, though.
That is literally the playoff committee trying to help FSU not look bad.
Yeah, I think we're gonna find out a little bit this weekend, but we're not gonna find out about FSU until the playoffs, which would make me nervous if I'm an FSU fan. It would make me super nervous. But we got to move on to this game. Justin, you've been riding this team all year. I think you're going to keep on riding them. It might be one of your locks. They got the Utes coming to town. One of the only stadiums you can sailgate at. Husky Stadium. Washington State favorites right here.
Oh, man. And it's a 2:30 game, so it's damn it, man. What is this scheduling? It's horrible. God, get your shit together, man. Something's pissing me off. What is this scheduling? Come on. Look how pretty it is there at night. Yeah. But yes, it is one of my locks. It's the Pac-12. There's a money line of 51. Oh, I'm going to take the over here. Yeah.
Locking in the over?
Locking because we ride at Penix all year long.
And I like that over too. I think it's a good over, especially with Utah putting up a weird 55 pointer last week. Did they figure something out? I don't know. I don't think so, but we'll see.
I mean, there's going to be offense in this game, but I think Penix is going to go out there and ball out. They could get popped, though. Let's not forget Utah is notorious for doing that, but they got blown up by Oregon, and Washington beat Oregon in a pretty good fashion, I have to say. But
transitive property, I like the transitive property talk. It's always good.
Transitive property talk is the worst type of sports talk out there.
Yeah,
it's the worst, the worst kind of talk. It's the most unofficial, professional, and least knowledgeable sport type of analytic talk out there when it comes to sports. But
you have to do it.
But when you get blown out like that by Oregon, that win over Oregon, it does speak volume. I hate doing that. Like the he said, she said, they beat them, so they'll beat them. No. That's dumb talk. But when you get blown out that way by a team that lost to the team you're facing, that speaks volume, I think.
Yep. Moving on, Missouri with that tough loss at Georgia, facing a Tennessee team coming off a huge expected win against the UConn team, and Tennessee's favorite at Missouri -1. I think I would take Missouri in this one. I'm staying away from it just because the line is weird. It's making me nervous, but I think I would take Missouri
I mean, it's a money line. It's a money line.
Yeah.
For sure. But when it comes to it, Tennessee gave me 1 point favorite at Missouri. That says something about this line where it just doesn't really make sense to the point of why. Like, because it's saying like if it was in Knoxville, that Tennessee would probably be favored 4 points at least. So, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I got Missouri win this game. I don't have a lock on it, but like you said, it's money line. You got 50 pick right there, and then I think Missouri played a good game against Georgia. I don't know why people are dogging them and thinking Tennessee's the better team right here. Tennessee dropped the ball against Alabama in the second half. They lost to a bad Florida team, and I'm a Florida fan. I'll say that. We were playing good that game, but lost to a bad Florida team. Yeah. I don't know what to say. I would pick Missouri, even though they're throw them in your dog parlay, whatever. Right here, Oklahoma State at UCF. Does Oklahoma State continue their winning ways here against UCF? I almost want to bet this game just to get on Oklahoma State's side. As a matter of fact, I think I might have. So let me peek at that real quick. Right quick. But yeah, I think Ollie Gordon's amazing.
It's 2.5 for this.
Yeah, it's 2.5. I think it was up
what
earlier.
What are these lines, bro? I'm gonna drop money this week. I
think the line might have moved. I think the line might have moved a little bit in Oklahoma State's favor. Yeah, I like Oklahoma State here. Some people are saying UCF's going to pull off the upset, and they need it bad, but Oklahoma State needs it. This is a conference win. They need this win to get into the Big 12 championship, and I think they do it. I like the over a lot for 64.5. I might end up changing this to one of my locks. I'll let y'all know if I do. But right now, it's an honorable mention. It's an honorable mention lock.
We should do it's an honorable mention lock for me too. We should do a week where we do like you could do as many locks as possible. Like you could do as many locks as possible. But so every win that you get a win, right? But if you lose, let's like points essentially. So let's say like you do 7 locks, and 4 of them are right, 3 of them are wrong. You would only get 1 win added to your win column. Or if you lose 5 of them, and then you only win 2 of them, that's -3. You get 3 losses added to your record.
I would say we could do.
But you could do as many as you want.
Yeah, I would say we can do something like that on the last week, just to give everyone like a chance to come back. But I think we would only count the wins on rivalry week. Only count the wins.
Yes.
You down? We'll talk to Davis about that. See if he's willing to put up his lead in jeopardy, because I'm down for that.
Well, it's 2 against 1. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him. There we go. We'll do it.
If he's listening, I doubt he is.
Yeah, democracy sucks, but we won this time. All right. Anyway, moving on. Arkansas might beat Auburn this week, by the way. Arkansas might beat Auburn.
They're favored. They're favored.
So, if you're an Arkansas fan, you got those 2 wins back-to-back, Florida and then Auburn. I think you're a little happy with that. Maybe not happy keeping Sam Pittman on, but you know what? Whatever.
Did you know they're favored?
Yeah, he belongs there. Like their favorite, like -2, -2.5, something like that. Yeah. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I just wanted to mention it because they did beat Florida last week, and they got Rocket Sanders back. So
I think we spent a good amount of time on it.
Yeah. Yeah, we might be looking at a Arkansas team that can run the ball with a good running back now. towards the end of the season. Does Arkansas have a chance to beat LSU there in the late? We'll see. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll see. Iowa at Rutgers. I'm just bringing this up just in case anyone wanted to have a lock. Davis might have a lock on this. I like to bet the unders here.
I don't know what Davis did. He ever send his locks?
I don't think I ever got any locks from Davis actually. No, never.
What are we doing?
Why?
What
Wow.
are we doing?
That's very upsetting. He'll have to get him in before tomorrow though.
Wait, is Iowa favored?
Iowa is favored here.
Bro, I would take Rutgers in a heartbeat.
What about that over-under? All-time low over-under right there. Now, I don't know if that's for sure, but 28.5 is a very, very low under-over. And you almost still want to take it.
I'd take both of them in Rutgers favor.
Yeah. I mean, last week it was, 10-7, Iowa over Northwestern. Similar game here.
But that game was in Wrigley Field. And when they posted like the highest scoring games in Wrigley Field this season, what sports played in Wrigley Field?
Baseball.
Mm-hmm. That in the Iowa Northwestern game was 7th on the list.
Yeah, that's
Isn't that some shit? They were 7th on that list for highest games, the highest scoring games in Wrigley, and there's bad baseball is played there. That's wow.
I mean, that's why you had to bet the under there because you knew the it was gonna hit. It was in a baseball stadium and it was Iowa. You're kidding me. We're gonna stay. Well, not.
Yeah, but there's
we're
nothing.
Yeah, we're not gonna stay. We're gonna go away. The Big 12.
It's like we're actually not.
For the Big 12, Oklahoma coming off 2 straight losses.
Oh, this is a night game, right?
This is a night game, 6 p.m.
This game
Fox.
used to be so badass. It used to be such a badass game.
Yeah. Don't get ahead of yourselves here. Oklahoma's still a good team. I think they get back on the winning track here and they beat West Virginia. I don't know about that -13 though. I don't like it.
I like it. It's fine. I don't think there's any problem with it, but I don't know. It's West Virginia. They suck.
I agree. I think Oklahoma has this game locked down. Yeah, moving on. Moving on. I know we got some locks to give out here. USC going to Autzen Stadium. This one's a night game. This is Pac-12 after dark. This is Pac-12, 9:30 p.m. Oregon hosting USC Trojans. I mean, almost game of the week as well. Like we had 3 games that could have been game of the week. This was one of them. USC still a good team, man. Still a good team putting up points. I'm taking the over.
Oh, I'm taking the over. It's one of my locks. Yep.
We're locking the over in. We have a lot of similar locks this week.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, it is what it is. I can't go against these overs, man. I looked at the Washington game and the USC game, and I was like, this is going to be very similar. So they got like 80, was it 52-42, I think?
52-42.
52-42? Yeah. So 94 points. I think this is going to be somewhere around there as well. So I'm happy rooting for the over. Big time. I think Oregon gets the win. Yeah.
Oh,
Oregon.
yeah. Sorry. I was like zoning out on like Kirk Herbstreit was interviewing.
Well, it's one of your locks.
No, it's one of my locks, but Oregon's going to win this game too.
Yeah. All right. We'll stop sharing that. And I think let's see. I don't want to skip one of your locks. So if you got a lock on another game, you might want to. Oh, here we go. I'll get to it. Texas at TCU. Tell me what you think about this game, Justin.
Man, what is this line? Come on. I think TCU's going to do Jack Diddley Wit. Come on.
I mean, if Quinn Ewers isn't back, man, I don't trust it.
Pull up Texas record or schedule for me.
You know, pull up Texas's schedule.
Yeah, I mean, look at this game versus K-State, man. With their backup quarterback. Come on.
33-30. They won by 3 points.
Exactly. Versus the top 25 team. Come on. You only get 10 points? I don't know. I haven't think about changing this lock. I Between the Ole Miss game and
I
this
mean,
game.
they did Kansas did. If you want to use transitive property, Kansas did house TCU 41-3.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I mean, they lost to Colorado. They, wait, pull up TCU's schedule again. Sorry.
Yeah, TCU's schedule is not looking impressive. They did have the big win against BYU a couple weeks back, but then they've dropped two
Okay,
straight.
that's why I wanted to look at. So they have a similar opponent in BYU. Because this is interesting, actually.
That's about the same as Texas won.
No, I think it's better than Texas, isn't it? Oh, wait, no. When did Texas win by 30?
It's about the same. I think Texas was like, yeah, here we go. 36. It is better. They scored more points, but allowed less points. Allowed, what, 5 less points.
I
So
don't know. This is a weird game. Maybe
yeah,
I should.
that's why I
maybe-
looked at it. I was like, I get why you're doing it, but it's a weird lock for me.
Maybe I should switch to Colorado.
You're gonna have to think about it. You're gonna have to think about it and let me know before these graphics go out tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Oh no, I don't know, man. We got Chandler Morris being a shitty QB. I don't know, man. This is weird.
It's a great podcast. I wish someone from like TCU or Texas was like, I need to find answers to this game. I don't know what to bet. I don't know what to think. And they get to us and we're like, I don't know, dude.
I don't know, man. I'm just playing with nail filer. I don't know, man. This is just this is an interesting game you have going on.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah.
I literally think that's how I sound right now because I'm like, I don't really know anymore. I just have no confidence right now. Maybe we should just take the over. Maybe just take the over.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know because
No,
Texas.
I'm not touching the over.
Not bad. I don't know what Kansas State did. I mean, I watched the recap of the game. I watched the condensed game, and Kansas State got back in the game in a weird way. So, yeah, Texas could shut them out, or Texas could be weird again. So I don't know. It's up to you. I'll give you time to think about it, and you can change that lock if you want to.
All right. Let's move on.
Let's reconvene. All right, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna call it. I think it's time to move on to the game of the week. Yep. I don't have a graphic. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's the game of the week.
You should just play an old graphic. Just play an old graphic.
Just play the old. No, it's fine.
Play an old graphic. I want to hear the music.
The graphic from last week.
Yeah, it gets me feeling right. That's right. Back-to-back weeks here in the college football extravaganza. LSU and Alabama going back at it once again. Going to be in Baton Rouge in a night game going on for this one. It's going to be truly incredible. This is never seen, never heard before. Yes, they have decided to say, fuck the SEC, fuck the NCAA. They're going to go round two with each other back-to-back weeks. Give me the damn Tigers this go around. JD faked that concussion. He's going to go out there and ball out for 500 yards.
I love the energy.
Dude, that came out of me on the fly. Anyways, yeah. So, anyways, the game of the week.
Georgia hosting Ole Miss and the Rebels, the Red Bulls. After they beat a Texas A&M team who almost came back and won the game, and a blocked field goal away from tying it and going into overtime. And that palm was firm on that Ole Miss defender. He said, we're playing Georgia. We're going to be a top 10 team next week. He said, doubt shall not pass. And it didn't. They won that game. Now, Georgia's favorite, minus 10.5. And I think this is going to be similar to the Kentucky game. I think Georgia's going to win this game. I think they're going to blow them out.
Yep. Ole Miss, 10.5. I love it.
You like Ole Miss 10.5?
Absolutely.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Kiffin, all right, if I'm being straight with you, which I usually try to be as transparent as possible, Lane Kiffin is not a great coach in big games.
I looked at the Alabama Ole Miss game, and it looked like when Ole Miss faced a good defense, they could not put up points. They put 10 points up in that game. I think it'll be similar in this game. So I'm gonna lock Georgia in for the win on this one, and hopefully solidify a 5-0 week.
He's locking it in, folks, going crazy up in here. He's loving the Bulldogs. He's loving the Wildcats. He's loving everything. He just loves animals in general.
Just chop your nuts. Really, that's all it is.
That's right, dude. Yeah, I mean, I think Georgia, they didn't cover last week. I think they have something to say this week.
Dude, I don't know. Should I go Texas or Colorado? I'm so freaking confused right now.
I think take your time and think about it, because I think both of those are kind of weird. I think you should take your time and look at it. Download the Hard Rock Seminole Sports app. No sponsorship. They didn't
sponsored by them yet. You're trying to get this going.
I'm just letting you know. Download that, look at the lines, and then you'll figure it out. Because once you put money on it, that's when you're the most confident.
You're right. Give me Colorado. Lock me in.
All right, fine. We got it locked in. I'm fine with changing your Texas for Colorado covering against Arizona. And I wish you would bet Colorado to win, because I would make that the shot game. I think that's a very fun shot game.
Oh, no. But we do need to do a shot game, though, don't we?
Yeah, we do. And we had to figure out last week, because I think we had like 3. I think I was 2-1 on that one. So we'll have to figure it out. My tummy's hurting me this week. I'm recovering over a stomach bug. So we'll have to recover. I got to recover.
Can you bring up the Marshall game now?
Yeah, they lost, right? They lost last week.
Correct, Rob. They lost.
Yep, they lost to App State last week. Yeah,
they lost last week.
Yep, called that one.
Just bring up Marshall's game this week.
Yeah, Georgia Southern. I think they might lose again.
So here's where you're wrong. Do you know what game this is for Marshall? No.
Is it the airplane game?
It's called the 75 game. Yeah, it's 75 game.
Or the lack of airplane game. Is that
no, we don't. We're not going to joke about that one. That's just we won't joke about that one. That's not something. No.
I bet you laugh at 9/11 jokes. You can't laugh at a Marshall 75 game. 75 joke. If you can laugh about 9/11 jokes, you can.
9/11 was a purposely attacked mission on the country. Marshall wasn't. Dude, okay, look. All right. First of all, I have family friends who died. Jesus Christ. It's the 75 game. I want to make this very freaking clear. It's 75 game. We don't lose a 75 game. If we lose a 75 game, fire Huff.
You're 4-5. You might want to fire him anyway.
He beat Virginia Tech and he beat Notre Dame, man. Can't fire that guy.
Why are you not good this year?
Dude, because the coaches suck.
You lost 5 in a row now. I mean, Georgia State's good. JMU's good.
No, they're not.
You lost to a Coastal Carolina absent Grayson McCall. App State, that's obliterated by App State.
Pull up that Coastal game. Look at the box score.
Pathetic.
Look at the box. No, look at the box score. Damn, bro. That's so wild. Dude, Cole Pennington played. I didn't even know that. He threw 2 picks. Do you know who Cole Pennington is?
No.
You don't know who Cole Pennington is?
Is he another high school guy from the area?
No. You know who Chad Pennington is?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who Chad Pennington is, but
do you know who Cole Pennington is now?
I guess he's his brother, younger brother.
That's his son. It's been a long time.
His son? Oh my God.
Chad Pennington played at Marshall 23 years ago. You think his brother's just gonna be playing out there now?
I mean, you never know. You never know.
What do you mean?
You never know what kind of swimmers these old guys have.
Man, we should just
we should just end it. We should
no, this I don't know what's going on anymore. What?
I mean, what's going on is Marshall's getting ass blasted by Coastal Carolina 34-6. And they're probably going to lose again.
No, they're playing. It's the 75 game.
All right. Well, if Boston College can lose the red bandana game, you guys can lose a 75 game. It's possible. You're talking about a Georgia Southern team.
Okay, when the
You're talking
the red bandana game for Boston College. Okay, this is no offense. I want to make this very clear. A disclaimer that what the red bandana game represents is very, very brave and heroic. I want to make that very clear. But it represented one player of that football program. This represented the entire program and the team. The entire team died. Gone. They were like, okay, we're gonna close football. We're just gonna no more football. And yeah, like Marshall was like, yeah, we probably don't have football no more. And then enter Matthew McConaughey, and yeah.
Again, you're comparing this to 9/11 once again. I don't think I'm a fan of it at all. We're running in circles.
You're the one who brought up 9/11.
You said red bandana game. That's 9/11 again.
You brought up red bandana game. You brought up red bandana. Okay, what is 9/11? 9/11 is the worst. It's the largest air-related tragedy in mankind, right?
Air-related tragedy, yeah.
Do you know what the 75 is? It's the worst sports air-related tragedy in mankind.
Look, I don't think you should be comparing the two.
I'm not comparing them. Why would I ever compare them? But you're trying to compare them. You're like, oh, the red bandana game, Boston College lost that. Oh, Marshall's going to lose a 75 game. No.
Yeah, 9/11's way worse. No, I'm joking. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, I actually do think Marshall has a chance to win this game. I'm just pulling your chain because the last 2 weeks I wanted to talk with you about Marshall, the Coastal game and the App State game. I couldn't.
Oh, I'm not really like, it's pretty embarrassing. Like, so when we say that we're a football school, we don't mean football. We mean soccer because we're number 1 in the country in soccer.
That's good.
So
do you play JMU?
Huh?
Do you play JMU in soccer?
Yeah, we beat them. You
beat JMU?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. They're beating everyone right now. JMU just upset.
UCF.
And college basketball too. Just upset.
But
one of the top teams in the country.
I get why people were confused, like because Marshall started 4-0, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, like they're a football school." But no. See, that was just really random. When we say we're a football school, it's the ball that's circular and we take it to nets, not the ball that's brown and shaped like the shape I'm drawing. Well, what do you call a shape of a football?
I'd say it's more oval, but it's less than an oval, right?
Is that what you call it as an oval? Because I mean, I thought an oval like it has pointy sides.
Yeah, it's not quite an oval, but it's more ovular, right? Ovular.
Obtubular, I guess you could say.
I like that. I think that's going to do it. I think that's going to do it for Week 11 college football.
This is we are all over the place right now.
Yeah, you know what? Go back and listen to it, and we got to find some solutions.
Why? I think it's entertaining. We talk about the difference of Eastern and Western Wildcats, and
that was a weird sound. I think I started to play the music and it messed your mic up.
It was a National Geographic. Anyway, it didn't mess my mic up. But National Geographic, and we are sponsored by them. Not actually. Don't take that serious.
I've been working on the National Geographic sponsorship. It was a secret. Justin kind of just let it out. Our next big game will be out of the Papua New Guinea tribe in Africa.
This is 6 inches.
In Africa, that is 6 inches. Justin's right. They go by the super American system. This podcast is over. Thanks for joining. Like and subscribe.